You know, it's kind of wild when you stop and think about the tech we use constantly. Like your smartphone, right? Or maybe a smart home assistant. It often feels like this stuff just appeared. But what if I told you that a lot of these incredible innovations, I mean, from the device in your pocket right now to complex medical tools, actually started as just, well, wild ideas in science fiction? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that connection. We've got this fantastic article. It's called From Sci-Fi Dream to Everyday Reality: Has Science Fiction Shaped 10 Real-World Technologies? And honestly, the links are surprising.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And this isn't just about, cool gadgets. It's more about understanding how imagination, specifically through sci-fi, kind of acts as a blueprint, like a laboratory for ideas that doesn't just shape technological progress, but it actually influences what we expect technology to do for us. So this dive, it's a great shortcut to getting informed on something genuinely inspiring.
Seriously, I kept having these aha moments reading through it. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff. Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's dive into some of these incredible examples. All right, first up, let's talk about something truly iconic. The Star Trek communicator. From, what, 1966? That classic handheld wireless thing, the flip design. I mean, back then, pure fantasy, right?
Absolutely. And what's really striking here is how directly it spurred innovation. There's Martin Cooper, an engineer at Motorola, and he explicitly cited the communicator. He said, that's what I want to build. And that led eventually to the Motorola Dynatec 8000X in 83. It was huge, bulky, but it was the first handheld mobile phone. And then, get this, in 1996, Motorola even released the StarTAC.
The StarTAC.
It's
Yeah.
like the world's first flip phone, named as a direct tribute.
Wow. And look at us now. Fast forward to today. What is it? Over 5 billion people using mobile phones. I mean, they're not just phones anymore, are they? They're these little supercomputers, cameras, GPS, internet, apps. It's way beyond that original Star Trek idea.
It really is. And connecting that to the bigger picture, the communicator didn't just give engineers a goal. It fundamentally shaped our public expectation. This idea of instant global communication became ingrained. We just expect it now. So much so that we barely even think about how fantastical that idea once was. Though, sci-fi didn't always predict the downsides, like the constant connectivity pressure or all the data privacy issues that came with it.
That's a good point. Okay, so from handheld communicators, let's shift to another device many of us use daily, the tablet. Thinking back to 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968, right? Arthur C. Clarke and Kubrick, they envisioned the newspad, this sleek, flat thing. And Star Trek, of course, also had its talking computers, the ship's computer.
Right, and this shows that pattern again, doesn't it?
But-
Sci-fi planting the seed.
Yeah.
The newspad is pretty widely cited as, well, direct inspiration for the iPad. Apparently, Steve Jobs and the Apple team even referenced sci-fi during development. And similarly, those conversational computers in Star Trek,
Yeah.
they definitely influenced our expectations for things like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, all built on natural language processing.
It's amazing how normal they feel now. Tablets, voice assistants, they've completely changed how we get information, how we interact with tech. The iPad, when it launched in 2010, that really set the mold. And now voice assistants are managing our schedules, our smart homes, everything.
Exactly. And that mainstreaming, it reflects a huge shift, really, from, typing
Like
commands
there's a man life.
to much more intuitive, human-centric interaction, just like sci-fi often pictured. Although, it's interesting, sci-fi didn't always predict how much we'd create with these devices, did it? Like digital art on tablets or AI writing tools. It was often more about consumption.
Good point. Okay, sticking with Star Trek for a moment. You have to mention the tricorder. That amazing handheld scanner, analyzing the environment, diagnosing illnesses. Just wave it around. A compact, fast, non-invasive medical wonder. Imagine.
That idea absolutely captivated engineers for decades. There were early attempts, like Vital Technologies back in the 90s had the TR-107, that was pretty basic. But more recently, look at NASA's Our Health One. It's a compact, designed for space, and it can run a whole battery of tests from just one drop of blood.
Wow.
It's essentially a real-life tricorder. We're getting very close.
And the impact is huge, right? These handheld medical devices like the Scanadu Scout you mentioned or the Health One, they're revolutionizing healthcare. Think about getting rapid diagnostics right there, point of care, in remote places, emergencies. Invaluable.
Totally. It helps democratize access to medical diagnostics. It helps close those healthcare gaps we see globally. And it makes personalized medicine feel much more immediate, much more real. It's one area where reality must actually be outpacing some of the old sci-fi timelines.
Okay, let's jump genres a bit. A film that visually just blew my mind for its interface. Minority Report, 2002. You remember Tom Cruise, like, swiping data around in midair
Yeah.
with gloves? That UI, designed with MIT researchers, no less, incredibly influential.
It wasn't just cool looking, right? That interface sparked a genuine wave of innovation. You had Microsoft's Surface, their Kinect sensor technology,
Yeah.
and MIT's own labs. They developed systems for computer control using touch, gestures, body movement. Intel also invested pretty heavily in this area.
So where are we now with that kind of tech? Well, multi-touch screens are totally standard. Phones, tablets, laptops, check. Gesture controls, they're common in gaming, Nintendo Wii, PlayStation Move. You see them in public kiosks, even car dashboards now. And devices like Leap Motion allow for really precise, touchless interaction with computers.
Exactly. And this, again, it goes beyond just inspiring the engineers. It set a completely new benchmark for what users expect. We now anticipate this kind of fluid, intuitive, almost immersive interaction. We almost take it for granted, forgetting how futuristic it looked in Minority Report.
And while we're on Minority Report, let's touch on the security aspect. Iris scanning, retinal scanning, that was routine in the film for ID. Just look and you're verified.
Yeah, that vision of seamless biometric security, it definitely influenced the design and, importantly, the adoption of real-world systems. I mean, think about it. Airports, banks, even our smartphones. They use iris or facial recognition all the time now. Apple's Face ID uses infrared scanning. Many airports use iris scanners for border control. It's here.
It really is. Biometric authentication is, well, it's a cornerstone of digital security today, offers convenience, protection.
Right.
And eye-based systems, they're valued for being accurate and hygienic, especially in high security places.
But, and this is crucial, that widespread adoption immediately sparked all those conversations we're still having about privacy, surveillance, data security. Yeah. These are critical ethical issues that science fiction was often grappling with in its stories long before they became everyday concerns for us.
So true. Okay, let's hit the road now. Self-driving cars, driverless vehicles. They've been a sci-fi staple for ages, haven't they? Isaac Asimov wrote about them back in '64. Then you've got films like I, Robot, Minority Report again. They all imagine cars just handling traffic, avoiding accidents, all by themselves.
And those visions, they did more than just entertain. They absolutely spurred public interest, but also real technical development. You saw concept cars from Lexus appearing in sci-fi films. And companies like Google's Waymo, Tesla with autopilot, they definitely drew inspiration from those fictional examples.
Yeah.
And crucially, those DARPA grand challenges in the early 2000s, they massively accelerated the actual research.
So where are we today? Well, autonomous and semi-autonomous vehicles are actively being tested, even deployed around the world. Waymo runs robo-taxis in several U.S. cities now. Tesla's autopilot offers hands-free driving on highways. It's really happening.
Yeah, it is. And self-driving cars, they hold this huge promise, right? Reducing accidents, increasing mobility for people who can't drive. But they also bring up really significant questions about safety, about legal liability when something goes wrong, about the future of jobs for millions of drivers. It's a complex picture, still unfolding, very sci-fi in a way.
Definitely. Okay, how about this one? Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Ah, classic.
Princess Leia's holographic message in Star Wars 1977 may be the most iconic hologram image ever. Star Trek II, of course, had holographic displays, even full holodecks.
And those images, those visions, they really did inspire decades of research. You look at Microsoft's HoloLens pioneering work on actual holograms at places like the Australian National University, even attempts at smartphone-based holography. They all owe a huge debt to sci-fi for creating that visual target.
And in our world today, well, full scale, walk around holograms like in Star Wars, still pretty experimental mostly, but 3D displays and especially augmented reality, AR, that's commercial reality now. AR headsets like HoloLens overlay digital info onto your view of the real world, and countless smartphone apps bring AR to millions of people every day.
Exactly. Holography and AR are genuinely transforming fields like education, medicine, entertainment design. Yeah. It's making that sci-fi dream of truly immersive, interactive media feel very tangible. It shows the power of having that clear visual goal from fiction.
Okay, switching gears slightly to something maybe even more profound. AI, artificial intelligence. 2001. A Space Odyssey back in '68 gave us HAL 9000, that incredibly intelligent, conversational, slightly creepy computer.
Slightly.
Okay, maybe more than slightly. And then more recently, the film Her in 2013 explored this deeply personal relationship with an AI operating system.
Right. And these portrayals, they really shaped both the ambitions, the hopes and the anxieties surrounding AI research.
Right.
You talk to developers behind Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. Many cite sci-fi as a kind of guiding influence. And this recent explosion of generative AI, ChatGPT, DALL-E, and the others, it directly echoes the capabilities and sometimes, the personality of those fictional AIs.
It's incredible how fast things are moving. Today, AI is powering our voice assistants, language translation, medical diagnostics, even creative tools for art and writing. These large language models can chat, write essays, even code. It's blurring that line between human and machine intelligence in ways that are, frankly, still hard to fully grasp.
And as AI gets more and more capable, it naturally brings those big issues right to the forefront, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Issues of trust, bias in the algorithms, AI autonomy, the impact on jobs. These are exactly the kinds of complex challenges that, again, science fiction has been thinking about and warning us about for a very long time.
Let's talk about enhancing humans. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker gets that amazing robotic hand. And way back, the novel and TV series Cyborg from '72 explored that whole fusion of man and machine, bionics.
Yeah, those stories weren't just action-adventure. They genuinely inspired research into advanced prosthetics, into wearable robotics.
Yeah.
You look at the Luke arm named after Skywalker, funded by DARPA. It offers incredible multi-articulating movement, even sensory feedback. And exoskeletons, pure sci-fi, once upon a time. Now they're used in rehabilitation, helping people with mobility impairments.
So, bionic tech today, where are we? Modern prosthetics can actually be controlled by nerve signals, sometimes even directly by brain waves. The dexterity is getting unbelievable, and we have these soft robotic suits now helping stroke survivors, people with spinal injuries to regain movement. It's really phenomenal progress.
It truly is. Bionic technology is restoring independence, restoring dignity for millions of people. And of course, it also sparks those profound questions about the boundaries. Where does human end and machine begin? It's a future that's literally being built, limb by limb.
Okay, one more specific category. The small stuff. Drones and micro-robots. Films like The Matrix, Minority Report, again. They had these insect-like drones, tiny robots for spying, exploring, even combat.
And those visions definitely spurred the development of small, agile drones, first for military use, then industrial, now consumer applications everywhere. And parallel research into microrobotics has created these tiny devices. Some can navigate tight spaces, monitor environments, even potentially perform medical procedures inside the body.
And in our world, drones are just everywhere now, aren't they? Aerial photos, package delivery, search and rescue, scientific research. And micro-robots, while maybe less visible, are being developed for really specific things like targeted drug delivery, sensing pollutants, inspecting infrastructure from the inside. The potential is huge.
Absolutely. But that proliferation, especially of drones, it inevitably raises new questions. Privacy concerns, safety issues, the need for regulations. Issues that, surprise, surprise, sci-fi continues to explore, often in really complex and thought-provoking ways.
So, bringing this all together, what's the big takeaway here? It seems crystal clear that science fiction is way more than just escapism, right?
Oh, absolutely. It provides the vision, yes, but also a shared vocabulary, a way to talk about the future. And powerful motivation. It gives engineers, researchers, even the public, this sense of possibility. It helps turn these wild dreams into actual, tangible reality.
And it also has this amazing power to shape public imagination, doesn't it? Which then influences policy. Our expectations about technology, our acceptance of it, that can affect everything from where research funding goes to how we decide to regulate new inventions.
And maybe the most important role, it offers a space for ethical reflection, for philosophical thinking. By dramatizing both the amazing promises and the potential perils of technology, sci-fi encourages us to think critically about progress. It keeps pushing us to ask not just what we can build, but maybe more importantly, what we should build.
There's that great quote from Micron Technology. I love this. The communicators in Star Trek and Dick Tracy's video wristwatch have remarkable similarities to today's smartphones and smartwatches. It's just spot on.
It perfectly captures that cycle, doesn't it? As we see new breakthroughs happening now, things like quantum computing, advanced brain-computer interfaces. Science fiction remains this vital partner in the conversation, constantly inspiring that next generation and giving us a canvas to imagine what comes next.
So there you have it. Our deep dive really shows how science fiction's influence on technology isn't just incidental, it's profound. It's pervasive. It really has provided the vision, the language, and crucially, the motivation for some of the most world-changing inventions we now use every day.
So the next time you pull out your smartphone, or ask your voice assistant for the weather, or even read about a new medical breakthrough, just take a second. Remember, you are, in a very real sense, living in the world that science fiction dreamed up first.
And as we stand right now, on the edge of potentially huge new frontiers, the metaverse, human augmentation, advanced AI, science fiction is going to keep playing that crucial role. Not just imagining the future, but actively helping us figure out how to build it.
And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. If sci-fi has been this accurate, this powerful as a predictor and a driver of innovation, what does that suggest about the futures being imagined right now in books, in films, in games, and maybe, just maybe, how might you play a part in building the kinds of positive futures that sci-fi constantly challenges us to envision? Definitely something worth thinking about.